Hello and welcome to this week's live stream direct from the Man Cave. I'm your host Liam, and join me, my partner in crime this week is Mike. Mike, hello.
Hello.
Mike in glorious HD today. Look at it, it's beautiful. Yeah,
It's glorious, Liam.
he's had a bit of a tech upgrade today. I think it's been a bit of You're using your phone, is that right? You've got a little
I am
HD
indeed.
icon in the bottom corner, which actually
I am
tells
indeed,
us.
yes.
So yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, because we lost you a couple of times last
Yeah,
week. So hopefully, we ain't going to get those problems today. Because
yeah, hopefully.
I've got no one to talk to. I'll just have to just talk to camera if I lose you.
Yeah,
Andy will be sadly not joining us this week. He has other engagements, and I
indeed.
didn't have time to. I didn't have time to find to dig up a special guest. But we will. We will do that at some point. We will start getting some more people involved in this. I think we're
Yeah,
at the level. I think
makes sense.
I think it's time for us to see other people.
Andy, sit down. We need a
Yeah,
talk.
it's not you, but
Yeah,
it's
it's typical.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So what you been up to, mate? You been all right?
I have been engaging in the world of first-person shooters.
Oh my God, he's done it. He's crossed
I've
the
done it,
line,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
I have indeed, yeah.
Kicking and screaming into a genre that's only 15 to 20 years old.
No, it's you know what it is. It's like I used to love first-person shooters, but I feel like with the advent of next generation consoles, I never quite got into it because a lot of these games now played online, and there are a lot of people out there who will maul you to death. And
Yeah.
so I've probably always been a bit discouraged by playing them. But now I've given Titanfall 2 a try. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it so far.
It's definitely I mean, we saw my review on that like 2 weeks ago, and just I'm loving it. I've got it on two platforms now. That's how much I've got. I love it. I've bought it on PC. I don't know why. Then I found out that yourself and Andy were getting it on PS4, and a bunch of other people got it on PS4s. And now I'm waiting for everybody to finish the campaign so they can start playing multiplayer with me. But
Yeah.
it's so good. But you're definitely right. I've put a considerable amount of time into it at the moment. Well, not considerable, an adequate amount of time into it, and I am getting certain matches where I'm mostly getting mid-table in my team, which is good because in Titanfall, even if you're not a great first-person, killer, an exact killer like some of these guys that are on this, then you can actually do things in the game like get points. Your Titan can do certain strategic things, and yeah, there's always something that you can do to help your team win. And I always play the objective. I don't bother trying to go for individual kill to death ratio
Yeah.
or anything like that. I just want my team to win. So that works out really well, but it's great. But you guys, we were texting the whole week, and you just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I'm at this bit, I'm at this bit in the game. Oh, and I was like, oh, you've got so much good stuff to come.
Yeah, no, no. No, it's quite fun, and I'm actually enjoying every once in a while. Like I said to you, a text message. I'm more of some. I used to like beat 'em up games more, so like Tekken and all that. So sometimes it's just stronger on me. I said, you know what, I'm just going to run up to this guy and punch him, right, like that. And I've actually managed to get in a few kills like that. Where then I do some little, what was it, like an assassination or something like that. I thought, oh
Yes,
wow,
that's the stealth. You stealth up behind somebody,
yeah.
then you get a breakneck animation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like,
And
oh, wow, good.
yeah, but you can unlock more of those in the
Oh,
multiplayer.
yeah.
So the more the
Um,
multiplayer you play, you can actually. I think there's four. One of them is just like you just straight up run up on him, kick him in the chest, and then execute him with a pistol in the head. It's pretty brutal. It's kind of
yeah,
like
gosh.
some of the
I'll
stuff
say.
is pretty nasty. But you've got Titan finishes as well. Did you know that?
Um, yeah, 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 yeah. No, I do know that. It's like when you reach a certain point, if you can,
If you melee them, then it
yeah,
does a Titan finishing move,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically.
No, I've done a couple of those by accident. Yeah,
By
but
accident.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so but it is good. I mean, it's good campaign. It's good fun. So we're planning on doing, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we might actually do our first Man Cave for the channel live stream, a gaming live stream. I think I can actually stream it from my PS4 directly to YouTube Gaming through this channel, and then we'll all have our first multiplayer playthrough, which I'm sure will be uncensored because the expletives that might come from you and Andy.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Liam, come back! Where are you going? I'm hiding, dude. You're 10 feet here. This is the kill zone.
Yeah. Or I'll just be ridiculously overconfident.
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. What do you mean I can't get a Titan straight away? That's the thing, though, because in most of the gameplay, you actually have to at least do something to get your Titan. Before, I mean, I struggle sometimes with my gameplay right up to the point where I get my Titan and then it all turns around for me. But if I just can't buy a kill up to that point, that's a long slog to actually get it before you can get in the game. So, but anyway, we've mentioned this before. Yeah. So we're going to keep on the gaming theme today. We haven't got Andy. I'm sure he would have chimed in on this as well.
Yeah.
And we're going to mention a couple of games. You're kind of looking back on a game that was out a little while ago.
Yeah.
That you particularly liked. I'm just going to bring up some images for you.
Yeah.
And if you talk us through, was ist das game?
Was ist das game? Well, actually, it's interesting because as I was playing Titanfall, another game that I played, what was it, last year, well, almost 2 years ago now, actually, which is kind of straddles the line between survival horror and first-person shooter, is Alien Isolation.
Alien Isolation.
And, yeah.
This is one of the first games on next-gen consoles, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, so I believe.
2014.
And it was, it's made by Sega, and it plays out almost like a sort of like an Alien, like from the first film, Alien spin-off. So while Aliens is happening, there's this going on as well. And it's, apart from the fact that it's in Ridley Scott's world of Alien, so much that the soundtrack and sort of like the music and just surrounding random noises like that are lifted straight from the film, so it's a very immersive experience. But the thing that's brilliant about it is that there is basically you are on a stranded spaceship. You're stranded on this big spaceship just floating about in outer space, and with no contact with the outside world, and there's an alien on board. There's just the one. You can't kill it, and you have to basically try and survive and get through it. And it is just, it's easily the scariest gaming experience I've ever had. I was always on the edge of my seat. Does not begin to cover,
So this was on PS4 that you played this? I
played this on PS3.
PS3. Okay.
I still hadn't upgraded yet. It was intended for PS4, but they also released it for PS3. And the thing that I liked it, and it's something I've only managed to appreciate now that I've started playing Titanfall, is that it is it's bizarre. It's a bit of a paradox. It's a first-person shooter, which encourages you not to actually use your weapons, because whenever you have, say if you got a handgun and you try and shoot it, the noise will attract the alien. You'll hear it like climbing down the vents really quickly, and you'll have given away your position.
So then it's a stealth game then?
It's very it's very stealth. I mean, I know we had a bit of discussion because I said if I see the hand bobbing around with a weapon, to me that's also a first-person shooter, and you do reach a point in the game where you have to actually say, you know what, now you pull out all the stops, you need to use your weapons finally. Right. But I always find it quite amusing because usually the people who hate Alien Isolation, the other gamers I speak to who hate it, are people who are really into sort of like Call of Duty and Battlefield and all that, because they say, oh, the alien came out, I tried to kill it and I couldn't kill it, and it really frustrated me. And I said, you can't kill it, that's the point. And they said, well, what is the point then? I said, well, it's actually trying to get through the game, and it's trying to make you lose these habits that you've picked up from these other games where all you've got to do is just get a gun out and shoot around. The closest you ever come to actually disposing of the alien is when you have a flamethrower where you temporarily scare it off, and that's it.
Mm.
It'll just run away, and for like you'll have scared it off for a few minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, I
But
think that.
it's
Yeah, I
um,
think I think the timing of it was a little bit wrong because when the next gen consoles came out, everybody was looking for those AAA titles, and I know it was on PS3, but it was one of the launch. It was one of the early games on
yeah,
PS4, and everybody was looking for that big title to kind of bring it home. And the only thing that was selling like hotcakes was a COD and the first person
yeah,
shooters. And so when this came out, and it also came out with a price tag around about a AAA game as well,
yeah,
people
yeah,
were like, I want a AAA game experience. And then when they got into it, it's like, oh, this is a stealth game. And really, I think this got released probably, I would say about 3 or 4 years too early
yeah.
because you put this in VR.
Oh gosh, yeah. In VR, this would be bloody terrifying. It really would.
If they are not developing this in VR for the HTC Vive or the Oculus Rift now, they are missing a trick because
Mm.
this, I think, this would be scary as shit in in a VR format. But what about the mechanics of it? Because I mean, I played a little bit of it when it came out. Um, how did you find the kind of like, is there was a strong inventory system? I mean, what was the kind of movement? Did it feel quite heavy, quite sluggish?
There's a lot of there's a lot of crafting involved. So there's that as
Oh,
well. Sort of like you can make IEDs, so improvised explosive devices, and there was that as that element too. So go around and desperately find parts to craft were two or three Molotov cocktails or what are they called, nail bombs like that,
yeah,
which
like yeah, made
you
up
could
ideas.
you
Yeah.
know. Probably the best weapon of all was a nail gun, like this ridiculously powered nail gun, because it's not just the alien you have to battle in the game. There's also one point these very eerie androids, and a lot of the times you just see them in the background as silhouettes of these red eyes like that.
Oh, that's quite creepy.
Yeah, and at first they're on your side, then there's a malfunction, and they all turn on you, and all of a sudden you're like, right, I need to. The best thing is like if two of them come to you and they're lined up, you could use this ridiculously powered nail gun, and you could shoot through the two androids' heads with
Oh,
that, and
nice.
that was quite awesome, I must say.
Oh, that's
And
pretty cool.
that is at one point when it seems like you've disposed of the aliens. All of a sudden, you're like, right, I can finally make all the noise I want,
Mm.
and that's where you can sort of use that handgun. You've been saving those bullets for like three-quarters of the game. You can use that nail gun. You can use those nail IEDs and just go to town on it.
So you got a certain element of survival
Oh
in
yeah,
there as
yeah,
well, like your
it's very much.
conservation of resources, like Last of Us and things like that, because you have to be very conscious of that stuff, don't you? After
Yeah,
all, so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
got a
yeah.
lot of that.
There is a lot of that. I don't remember. Maybe remembering this completely wrong. There was like an expansion pack. I think you could play multiplayer. I think, and you actually
Oh,
playing sort of like a scene from the original film, where it's like four people with flamethrowers, and you have to corner the alien somewhere like that. So I think there is that, but it's I know there's a video. There are several videos on YouTube. It's just how can I say, sort of like best of. It's a best of video of all the deaths you can die of in that game if the alien catches you, because
all
they're
right.
just so gruesome and terrifying. Someone just said need to do a best of compilation.
Mm. Well, I mean, the Alien Isolation is still available,
Yeah,
and if you wanted to revisit, I really hope that they're thinking about it for VR because I think that was, you know,
yeah.
I think there was a missed opportunity there, big time. Just waited a little bit for that one,
If
but
you if
yeah.
you're trigger happy, it might not be the game for you. But I would almost say, like, if you are trigger happy, try, and it's a very good exercise for you to rein in those impulses.
Yeah, well, I mean, have you played Metal Gear Solid 5? Because
No,
see, again, that was you're encouraged to do stealth, and it does stealth very well. But then you can just turn it. You can just totally turn it on its head and just go, oh well, and fuck it, and it turns into war. And either way, it's fine to do. And that's the kind of crazy stuff. It's kind of, oh yeah, but I wanted to. You might even get halfway through, and you know, you kind of, do you know what? I wouldn't mind of stealth in this level. I've just noticed this, and this.
Yeah,
you can kind of go back and do it. And those games, I think because of games like Alien Isolation, you know, those games, you know, it was a time when stealth was big. At the moment, first-person shooters are big. They're back.
Yeah.
I mean, Titanfall, Battlefield 1, COD, they've all suddenly just come back into the forefront this winter. So everybody's talking about them again. But, you know, stealth might come back, I would have said. There's no reason for it not to. So, yeah, it's cool. So that's Alien Isolation. It's nice and cheap now. You can pick it up. Probably pick it up used.
For 20 quid usually, yeah.
Well, 20 quid is a new copy on Amazon. You could probably get it for about tenner with that. So, well, I've been playing a game as well. Because I like it. We're having a game. We're having a game episode. I like this. Yeah. It's good games. I've got one, and it is Doom. The new Doom. Yes, not the original Doom. Not the original Doom that we all know and love that we used to play on whatever mocked up PCs that we had. I think mine was a Pentium 133 with a whopping 32 meg of RAM. Yeah, that's right. 32 meg. 32 meg, motherfuckers. You know, that's what you got. That's what you got to think about.
Yeah, I know.
32 meg. You kids with your flipping 64 gig of memory. I was gaming on 32. Struggle was real.
Yeah.
And with my Pentium 133 processor, that's not 1 gig. That's 133 megahertz. That's not, you know, that's not your 4 gigahertz processor or anything like that. That's some real stuff. My first PC, I was playing Doom. I was, what else? Duke Nukem 3D. That was, networked with a serial cable. No hubs for me, man. It was like, it was a serial to serial port directly to my mate's PC that had to be sitting in front of it.
Yeah.
Two giant towers that were sitting in front of each other with this little cable that we actually networked.
One of my favourite memes online is a picture of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, and the text says, you merely adopted gaming. I was just a man until I saw a wireless controller. And I think that sums up a whole generation of gamers right there.
Yeah, it does, but I don't know, man. It's just like, I think there's similar kind of struggles, but I mean, I now get back into the gaming genre, so I understand it's a lot easier to get games to work. Games just work. I mean, ain't no kind of, for drivers not to work here and there's a few tweaks that you make in the settings, but really games just generally work. You don't need to, run them in MS-DOS. You don't need to go and install like Sound Blaster 64 drivers. You know, you don't need to, crack. You almost don't need to hack your PC just to get it to run a game. None of that anymore. But anyway, Doom 2016.
Yeah.
I played the multiplayer of this.
Right.
Because there was a free demo, and they just before release, because I knew nothing about this game, and they released a demo that you could play, and it was just the multiplayer, and it was pretty awful. It was, the graphics were shitty, and I really didn't connect with it. I thought the movement was really weird, and it didn't seem to mesh with anything. You know, the shooting was spotty on it, and I thought this just looks like, how could they take a game like Doom, a license like Doom, and id, who are the original, creators, actually take the game and not do it justice.
Yeah.
But then the game got released, and I've been playing it, and the campaign is totally different. The campaign is awesome. It is brilliant. It is Doom. It is
Yeah.
Doom in your face. It's Doom. Like that one. It's just like, right, it's on Mars. There's demons. You're going to shoot them in the face or you're going to stomp on their heads. Go.
Yeah.
And that's it. Here's the heavy metal music to help you. And that's it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That captures the true essence of the game, though, wasn't it? The one that we all love
That's it,
from
man. That's it.
1993. Gosh, that
Yeah,
really
I mean
does.
that is. I mean it is just. I mean it is. It's a hyped up steroid version of it. Obviously, I mean you start out kind of chained to some kind of altar in some science lab, waking up, breaking yourself free, seeing a couple of like demons standing around at him, right, pick up a gun, shoot them all in the head, run over to your exosuit, put that on, find out that the whole facility has been on lockdown, walk through to another thing, find loads of demons, kick the shit out of all of them, and then just you read something that goes, "Hi, I need your help. The whole facility's been taken over by demons. You're the only guy to do it." And they went, "Okay." And that's it. And then it's like, and that's it. That's it. You're in. Forget about it. Okay, you're on
Has it got
Mars.
all the sound effects, like the same grunts and all that from the?
It's got some shrieking, some shrill shrieking from the demons.
Yeah, I remember that.
I got this on surround sound here, and I was playing it, and I was just like, oh, they really scream, like when they're below you or when they're near you, it's like, ah, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
really horrible. And then you kind of get swarms of them that come at you. But the way that the way that they've actually kept the gameplay nice and fluid now, the movement is very much like the original Doom, where you kind of hover up and down.
Yeah.
You kind of hover up and down, but you move like almost seamlessly around. So there's no, like kind of with like you probably get Titanfall and things like that. You feel the boots on feet.
Yeah.
Boots on ground. So you're actually running across the ground. You can tell that there's kind of a jitter from when you're running, and there's different. This is kind of just a general, like a bob, like you said, the bobbing with a hand. And they start you off with a shotgun, so you're immediately laying waste to it. There's a really cool because there's a bit of inventory management to this as well, because there isn't at the moment. I'm finding an abundance of health and more ammo than health, but you have to really maintain and watch this stuff. If you miss too many shots, then you might be in trouble for finding bullets and stuff, because it does actually keep you true to making sure that you hit your shots and stuff, because if you get caught in like on a level with loads of demons and everything, you ain't got no bullets and you're screwed, because you're not going to be able to get through them. A way they do this as well is if you shoot one, a demon a couple of times, mostly if you shoot them in the face, they'll die straight away. But if you've got demons that take a little bit more, then they'll flash a color, which means that they're susceptible to a glory kill.
Right.
Glory kills are awesome. Glory kills are run up, melee, and do the nastiest thing possible to them.
Is it the equivalent of fatality in Mortal Kombat?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've seen exactly. You run up. They do it quickly because it's obviously you're just rattling through. I mean, some of them are just a punch in the face. Some of them are stomp on their heads. Some of them are actually get their mouth and just rip open their head. It's all pretty, and there's quite a lot of those. And the other thing is, I mean, I picked up a chainsaw at one point, and you can set on people with chainsaws, and when you do that, the amount of power-ups that spit out of them, and that's what the glory kills do. The glory kills, the more spectacular the kill, the more chance that they'll drop health. And so you find that you've got to do the glory kills, otherwise you ain't going to get your health.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they got the normal button press, finding key cards, all this kind of stuff. I'm just really enjoying it. It's just real fun. It is just there's not this kind of higher purpose. There's not this kind of higher storyline like there is in Titanfall or something like that. It is just first person, kick ass, blow up the computer, and have some fun. you know, that's all it is. It's great. I
Yeah.
think it's about 12, maybe £15 on a PS4. It's really cheap at the
Oh,
moment.
good.
On PC, it's even cheaper. It's like 12 quid or something. I think it's
That's
no
quite
more than
cheap
about.
considering it came out like not that long ago.
It is, but I mean, if you think about it, I don't think they're having great numbers in the multiplayer. Um, and the
Mm.
campaign is the main draw, and there are many levels of the campaign, but the campaign is being, um, heralded as a great campaign. You know, that everybody that's reviewed this has said, you know, this is a wonderful campaign. I can see why, because it's just really good fun. And there's many levels of doing it. Like it was kind of like, you know, hurt me plenty, a nightmare, and you know, you don't want this level. You know, that's the kind of the leveling,
Yeah.
and that's the descriptions they give as well, which is wonderful. But yeah, I would definitely say yeah, it's one worth doing. So it's yeah, my games list is chalking up at the moment. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing all right actually. I think later tonight we're going to try and finish Tomb Raider, or do some more of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I had about 3 hours on that last night.
And I need to get stuck into when I can Life is Strange as well.
Yeah, Life is Strange. So I would be interested to see how that game comes out, because there's been a lot of narrative games out in
Hmm.
around the same time as that came out, and I'd like
Yeah.
to kind of understand what it is, because I kind of after the Walking Dead ones, I think I got the Wolf Among Us was the other one that I played.
Because the Walking Dead one, I remember 3 years ago we had our university reunion in Leicester, our American Studies reunion, and yes, I did American Studies, and
Went to
uh,
America. That was worth
uh,
it.
yeah, that was yeah. Usually people say, "What do you do in American Studies?" like that. So yeah, it's a glorified Mickey Mouse club. Anyway, I digress. Point is, I was sharing a hotel room with Andy.
Mm. Oh no! Oh
And
well. Oh, I lost you there for losing. Lost you there for a good 10 seconds.
good 10 seconds. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Andy was playing the Walking Dead game on his iPad
Right.
the whole time, and so I was quite. I was like, "Oh wow, this is cool." So I said, "Do you actually? What do you do?" He said, "You just control the narrative,"
Mm.
and I thought that is brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
For someone, I wanted to be a screenwriter for a while, so I thought that is a brilliant way of gaming. Very innovative in that
Pick
sense.
your. It's like. Do you remember the books? Pick your own story.
Yes, it's pretty much that, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, because okay. If you go down the path, go to page 8. If you don't want to
yeah,
go down the path, go to page 4. I used to love those books. It's like, oh, I wonder what happens in it. And it was really good. That's almost exactly how those games work.
yeah.
But yeah,
But from what I'm, yeah,
they've gone quite a bit further with them now. I don't know what the new Batman one's like.
I don't know either, but I know it's made from it's Telltale Games, isn't it? So it's the
Yeah, it's the
same as The
same
Walking
guys.
Dead.
Yeah.
From what I understand, but then again, this is purely based on hearsay right now. Is that with Life is Strange, the outcomes are multiple, like quite a few different ones, and they can have just a very tiny little differences between one and the other. But they say like every little thing you do matters in the grand scheme of things. So I was like, that has really got me hooked. So I'm really looking
Mm.
forward to doing that as soon as I'm done with Falling Titans and all that.
Well,
So
yeah, no, that's
yeah,
it's going to be a time consuming that one, but the
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think the outcomes did matter from chapter to chapter a little bit with
yeah.
the Telltale ones. I wouldn't say amazingly different with those ones. So I'd be interested to see what, because they started
Yeah.
this in Heavy Rain, didn't they? Heavy
Um,
Rain was the
I've never
PS3
played Heavy
version.
Rain, but it's a game of what I've heard was like it was brilliant when it came out. It was very well received, and now all of a sudden it's like oh, but now you can do all of these kind of things. That all of a sudden looks very dated. Is
Yeah.
what I've been hearing a bit, which is unfair. I don't like it when people say, "Oh, a game is rubbish." Why? Oh, because it's dated. I was like, well, that you can't do anything
Well, no,
against the
no, I
the
think
sands of time, so to speak. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
think it was. I think it was for the time. I think it was a good start for those
yeah,
games, and
exactly.
I think it did very well. I just got annoyed with your kind of quick time events. Your ability to execute quick time events kind of meant that you couldn't follow the story path that you wanted in Heavy Rain, and I actually followed a certain amount of events, and I was just like, well, I didn't really, I didn't really aim at this outcome, but then I
Yeah,
found out that actually you would have got to this outcome anyway,
yeah, I
so
know.
it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
They
So
feel a bit cheated. Yeah, I'd say.
that was like is LA LA Noir as well. That was
Yeah.
in
Yeah, LA Noir. I thought, wow, this is right up my street. Can't wait to play it. I was unexpectedly left very bored with it.
yeah, I was as well.
I
Well, because
didn't.
the thing is that apart from that when you actually in the when you were actually in doing the line of questioning that I was thinking was going to lead them to where I wanted them to go just
Yeah,
didn't correspond. I was like, well,
no,
well, how did you not work out he was the killer from this? It's just like, well, he just said this, and then they do the things with the eyes where it's like, I don't know, and they're looking
and
round, and it was
so
very, and I thought, okay, well, there must be, but then you found driving from and to the things and doing the shooting bit was the worst. It was
yeah, well,
terrible.
okay. Do
So
you know? I got the amount of game overs I got purely because I could not remember how to box, how to punch, throw punches. It
exactly.
was just ridiculously. But then again, I may be remember it.
No, I think I think
Incorrectly now. It felt very clunky in that sense, and I got bored of crime solving very quickly. I wasn't expecting to get bored so quickly by it.
yeah. Well, I mean, we've got some gaming failures. Let's have some gaming successes now. That's a good segue.
Yeah,
I've segued into that now. So let's talk about quickly before we sign off tonight.
yeah.
Is so memorable gaming experience. So what I'm going to ask what. Okay, what was the first game that you can kind of remember that gaming's for me?
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog
Wow, Sonic the Hedgehog.
from
Oh
uh,
God.
from Sega Mega Drive. I was 8 years old, and I just thought, well, that was my very first sort of like game I got addicted to. I said, I need to play this. I need to finish it. If you got game over, there was no saving. You'd have to start all over again, from level one. And it is. I do think Sonic the Hedgehog, like Mario, is a masterpiece in platform gaming. I really do think so. I think it's kind of lost its way as the consoles got more sophisticated. Kind of Mario managed to preserve this its early day charm, whereas Sonic kind of got lost along the way to the point
Yeah.
where it got bought by Nintendo, which was something if you told that to a Sega fan back in 1991, they would have laughed in your face. But anyway, no, but I have very fond memories of that because it was the first game I played, which I thought, oh wow, video games are a thing, like that. And
Did you have any experience with the arcades? Because you were kind of
okay,
eight. I suppose arcades were around. I mean that's
oh,
kind of
no, I
console
did,
gaming.
yeah. What games did I play in the arcade? Gosh, oh, do you remember Battletoads?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
Battletoads.
Battletoads.
That was hard.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a hard. It was a cool game, but it was a hard game.
It was easier
You
on
know.
console. I found
Yeah,
I found it a
I
lot easier
remember
on
when I go
console.
to the seaside, there was an arcade there, and I'd always play it whenever I went
Yeah.
there.
See see okay. I'm going real back. I'm gonna go real back. So the first gaming experience I can remember was on the family's Atari at my nan's house. So we're
Wow,
going to
Atari.
we're talking Space Invaders. This is like 82 maybe. Yeah, I reckon about 82. We're talking Space Invaders, we're talking Breakout, we're talking. Oh God, there was every game seemed to just have this amazing box art, and then when you
Yeah.
actually put it
Oh
on the
yeah,
TV, it
gosh,
was
I
like
remember.
two
God.
dots hitting each other. And it was just like,
Yeah, I know.
where are the warplanes? Where are the spaceships? Where's that
Yeah,
cool character there? Where's the guy that looks like Flash Gordon? Oh, he's
use
there,
your
and that
imagination.
yeah, those 3 pixels are him. I'm like, no, no, no.
Nah.
That I mean, I think that kind of was my first one where I was just like, I love video games. And then of course you had the Pac-Man. I remember buying Pac-Man on the Atari. That was the first home console. Then Commodore 64
All right.
was my home my home computer where I played things like
Mhm.
Transformers and stuff like that. I mean, these games were when I think of these games now, Jesus, were they basic? They were so basic.
But
Um,
do you remember how much they excited us, though?
They were. I mean, my cousins used to come out for hours and play these kind of things. But then the arcade, for me, the arcade was the thing because that was where in the 80s when everybody just that's where the games were. They weren't at home. They were in the arcade. Paperboy, oh, Paperboy with the actual kind of bike front on the machine
Yeah.
was just a revelation. Punch Out, Paperboy, Tron was still one of the most amazing games I've ever played because there was just multiple different
Yeah.
kind of mini games in the old Tron universe, and I thought it was so cool. Um, yeah, that kind of stuff. I fell in love with all of it, and I think by the 90s, when you're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, I was looking at like Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam
Yeah.
in the
Well, that's where, unfortunately, our age difference shows in that sense. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. But I think it
I wasn't
really
even born in '82.
well there you go. So I mean it was because it really kicked off. It kicked
Hmm.
off. I remember going to the arcade, especially here where I live now, because I used to come down the seaside, so I used to come down and play all the arcades down here for my summer vacation. And yeah, I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2 to me was the most perfect game.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was just it looked wonderful. It
Well, I
was
remember
challenging.
everyone played it.
And
If you did not
everyone
play Mortal Kombat, you did not matter. I
yeah.
remember that. It reached those levels. I remember.
Well, Street Fighter Two Championship Edition was that was the game that everybody used to bunk off school to play. They would at
Yeah.
lunchtime there were people late back to class because they were playing Street Fighter Two, and them were the days to do that. But no, that was
There were
some good
two other
times.
seminal. There were two other seminal games in my formation. It says a game. I should mention, that I never actually owned a console until I bought a PS3 3 years ago. I never owned one. It's actually quite funny. Everyone always.
How did you play Sonic then?
Oh, I'd always go around a friend's house or my cousin's house and play it.
Oh right, okay.
Everyone always said Michael is the most expert gamer for someone who's never owned a game console, like that, which I always found quite cool. There were two games which really sort of Sonic was the one that made me aware of video games. There were two video games in particular which made me realize, no, you know what? No, no, I'm not. No, it's three, not two. Three games which made me realize, no, you know what? There's an art to these, and you need to hone, and there's a craft to it, and you need to hone your craft like that. One was Tekken.
Hmm.
I absolutely adored Tekken. I did judo for a long time, so all of a sudden I was like, wow, these fighters actually doing moves when I recognize from from martial art videos that I'd watched and things like that. So I really bought into the whole Tekken thing. I remember buying a Tekken, the official journal, and it had all the moves listed, and I learnt them from memory without
Wow,
playing. And then I went
wow.
around friends' houses and I could beat them without ever actually, playing it on a regular basis. And I was ever so proud of myself there.
So this is the backstory to your epic
Yeah.
Tekken tournament that you recently took part in at Comic Con.
So I mean, Tekken's like a bicycle. I can put it down for years. I'll pick it up again and it just all comes back to me like that.
Right,
So I'm,
it's
I'm
forward
really
forward
pleased about that.
forward punch, forward kick,
Yeah.
back forward.
Forward circle.
Yeah, forward.
It's remembering King's multiple throws, which is the real difficult bit. Tekken was one. Another one was StarCraft. I loved StarCraft.
StarCraft,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
StarCraft's hardcore. That's a PC game as well, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. But I did have a PC, so I did have
Oh,
StarCraft,
okay. So you
and I
did some PC
really
gaming.
no, no, I did do PC gaming. Yeah, yeah. But literally, I could count on fingers of one hand all the games I owned on the PC because I wasn't
Mm.
allowed many. And but StarCraft, I really enjoy. And again, I was like, there's a whole tactical side to this. You know, you
Well,
can.
those are RTS real-time strategies, weren't they? I loved
Yeah,
all
no, it
that. I
was.
absolutely loved that when I had a PC.
And I get why it's so huge in some countries like Korea. You know what I mean? It's it's a really smart game in that sense. And the other game, and this is the game blame entirely for being responsible of me having to. I failed my first year of high school because of this game. Is Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, really? Final Fantasy
Yeah,
Seven. See,
yeah.
Seven. Yeah, I love Seven. I never finished
Yeah.
Seven. I'm
No,
gonna be
I
honest.
never managed to finish. I got really far, but I would just like spend afternoons playing that instead of doing my homework or studying, you know.
Mm.
And I was so this was the game that made me realize it's not just a game. It's just epic storytelling, and I am buying into the fates of these characters of this narrative as much as I would, you know, in a comic book or a film that I'm really
Cloud,
into. You know,
Cloud, and the Chocobos.
Cloud Strife
That
with the
was it.
Buster Sword.
That was it. Oh yeah, that was great. I remember because that came on 2 discs as well. I think I had it
It
on
was on
PlayStation.
four.
On
It was so
was it
that's
on
the other thing.
four
It's so
discs?
long. It's 4 discs. I was like,
Wow. What the I played Final Fantasy VIII. That was the one I almost finished to completion.
yeah,
And they said it wasn't a very good one, but that had 8 discs.
no, no.
That had 8 discs. I was like, what? How much
Well,
data? I mean, this is old CD disc. This is not
yeah,
DVDs or anything. Was it DVDs? Oh,
indeed.
it might have been. Yeah, it was DVDs actually. And it was all for the FMV as well.
Yeah,
It was hardly any of it was from the gameplay. So you can see where all that data goes now when you kind of like when I'm installing Doom and stuff like that on my PC. It's like 35 gig of
yeah.
data. I think Titanfall's running about
Back
35
when
as
you
well.
just put it in and you just expect it to work. Now, actually, you appreciate how big they are. You know.
Not anymore. It doesn't. They all run off hard drives now. They hardly ever use the disk.
Mm,
They only spin up the disk to go. Yep, you've got the game, and then that's it. They run the whole thing off the hard drive.
yeah,
That's the way it works. So, well, we've delved into gaming nostalgia. I've enjoyed this. This has been a good
me
chat.
too.
Um, I would like to revisit this at some point and get Andy's point of views, but yeah, I think we're going to do some. I'd like to do some gaming on the channel. Who knows? Over the Christmas break, we might all, we might when all the families disappeared and stuff like that, we might have an hour or so. And we might all get on stream and just and
Yeah,
play a bit. Very busy at Christmas time, obviously, because everybody's off. So all the servers fill up and everything, which means that we might be paired with people we can actually beat, which would be quite nice.
yeah,
So we'll have to see what happens, but yeah, more of that to come. So yeah, it's thank you again for joining me, and Andy will hopefully return next week. And thank you out there. Links in description. Please check out our blogs. I'll try and put links in. I'll try and put timestamps in and everything like that. Comment, subscribe, like. It does help. It gives us a guideline if you do like the content. I know we have actually got some new subscribers and everything, which is wonderful. And please give us feedback. We ain't trying to become rich or great YouTubers or anything. All we want to do is build a community of like-minded people and just have a bit of
yeah,
fun. Really, that's all we want to do. And if you like comic books, games, movies, then come and join in the conversation. And that's it, really. So. Thank you
yeah.
very much, Mike, and thank you very much, viewers. We will see you next week with another edition of ManCave. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Oh, that's a good one.